So, we're all living in this hybrid world, right? And let's be honest, professional networking has gotten tricky. How are you supposed to build real, genuine connections when you're not even in the same room? Well, let's kick things off with a story that shows just how much is still possible. Check this out. This is a quote from the author of our source material. Now, she lives in the United States. Her co-author, he lives all the way over in England. They met online, built a solid professional relationship, and wrote an entire book for the Financial Times, all without ever meeting in person, not once. It's an incredible example of what can be done. It's a great story, for sure. But let's get real for a second. For most of us, has it been that easy? Does it feel like your professional circle has actually gotten smaller lately? Like you're struggling to make those authentic connections? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. And you know what? It's not just a feeling. It's backed by some pretty serious data. A McKinsey report actually found that for most people, their professional networks have either shrunk or just completely stalled out. All those little organic moments, the hallway chats, the quick coffee breaks, they vanished, and we are all feeling that impact. This brings us to what you could call the connection paradox. It's this weird situation where just as it's become harder than ever to build relationships, those very same relationships have become more critical than ever. In today's world, your network isn't just a nice little bonus, it is your single most valuable professional asset. So, what does that actually mean? Well, think of your network as your social capital. It's the engine that literally powers your career forward. It's how you're going to find that next amazing job, or that perfect person to hire for your team, or that client that changes everything. These are the kinds of doors that only real relationships can open. And this right here, this is the heart of it. A long list of random LinkedIn contacts, that means almost nothing. The real power, the real magic happens when people know you, they like you, and most importantly, they trust you. Trust is the actual currency of a strong network. When people trust you, they really want to see you win. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Does the word networking just make your skin crawl a little bit? Make you feel kind of slimy? Yeah, for a lot of people, it conjures up these images of being super transactional and self-serving. But that is a complete misunderstanding of what powerful networking is all about. The key is to make a huge shift in your mindset. The old transactional way of thinking is all about, what can I get from you? It feels gross because, well, it is gross. The authentic mindset completely flips that script. It asks, what can I give? How can I help this person? What value can I provide? That simple change is the secret to building real, lasting connections. Now, before you rush out trying to meet a ton of new people, hang on. The absolute best place to start is with the network you already have. Seriously, it's a goldmine of potential that most of us are just letting collect dust. Let's zero in on a specific group within that gold mine, your dormant contacts. Who are they? They're the people you already have a history with. Former colleagues, old clients, people you went to school with, but you've just lost touch over time. The amazing thing is that foundation of trust is still there, which makes them incredibly valuable and way more likely to help you than some random stranger. Okay, so why is this so critical? I want you to listen to these next two numbers because they are staggering. First up to 70% of all jobs are never, ever publicly posted. They're just not. And if that wasn't enough, get this, up to 85% of jobs are filled through referrals. Let that sink in for a second. The huge majority of opportunities are going to people who are connected. This isn't a nice-to-have skill, it's an absolute must for your career. All right, so you get it. But how do you actually do this? How do you reach out without it feeling awkward or, transactional? The key is a really simple, actionable plan. It's called the 24/7/30 reconnection model. It's a super simple 3-step process designed for authentic, consistent outreach. And it's really easy to remember. You do something within 24 hours, something else 7 days later, and then a final touch point 30 days after that. Let's break down each step right now. Step 1 is all about speed. Within 24 hours of reconnecting, maybe you saw them in a Zoom meeting or you just decided it's time to reach out, send a personalized message. And I mean personalized. Mention a shared memory, a project you worked on, something they recently posted. Make it crystal clear this isn't some generic copy and paste message. Step 2 happens a week later. This is just a gentle follow-up. It's all about keeping that momentum going. You could reflect on something you talked about last week or share a quick thought.
It shows you are actually listening and that you're interested in building a real conversation.
And finally, step 3, about a month later. This is where you really lean into that giving mindset. Send them a link to a relevant article, a podcast you think they'd like, or some news related to an interest you both share. You're not asking for a single thing, you're just providing value and staying on their radar in a positive way. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds awesome, but who on earth has the time to keep track of all this for dozens of people? And that is a fair point. This is where technology becomes your secret weapon. Let's talk about how AI can be your personal networking assistant. Now, think of AI as your co-pilot, not as a replacement for you. You can use it to help draft those personalized messages. You just feed it a few key details, like "we work together on the Alpha project" or "we both love hiking," and it'll help you weave that in naturally. Over time, it can even learn your unique voice. But maybe most importantly, it can act as your personal reminder system, telling you when it's time for that 7-day or 30-day follow-up so you never let a great connection go cold. And this, right here, is the ultimate payoff. When you use this authentic, AI-assisted approach, you're not just networking. You're building real, solid relationships. You're going from being a forgotten name in a contact list to being the person they think of first when those amazing, unlisted opportunities pop up. So let me just leave you with this one final thought. This isn't just a bunch of theory, it's an action plan. So I want you to think right now about your own network, that gold mine of dormant contacts we talked about. Who is the first person you can send a genuine, value-packed message to today?